What's up everybody, my name's Encryptic TV and I'm coming back at you again with another video, and today we're going to be doing a Dragonflight Season 4 10.2.7 Devastation Evoker PvP guide. This video is going to have a ton of knowledge, you don't want to miss it. We're going to be talking about everything through regular talents and builds that I play, the PvP talents that I play, and how they change every single round that you play. We're going to be talking about the gearing that I've been doing this season so far, because we're only on week 3 of the season, going on week 4, and the gear I'm going to want in the future. We're going to be talking about the macros that I use. We're going to be talking about this concept of clipping versus not clipping, and then we're going to lastly go over our DPS rotation and then throw in some arena gameplay in there as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You don't want to miss it. If you don't know who I am, again, I am Encryptic TV. I'm currently rank 1 on the solo shuffle ladder. I played a ton of solo shuffle games this season. I've tried a million different things out, and I'm just going to show you how I've been having the most success as a Devastation Evoker. I've also got to 2200 CR on the 3s bracket. I haven't played much of it, so we're going to be pushing our glad very soon there, but it's been a great season so far, and we're just going to show you guys everything I've been doing this season. If you guys want to see me play live, make sure you go follow me on Twitch. The link's going to be in the bio, as well as my other social media platforms. So I really hope you guys enjoy this, and let's get right to it. Alrighty, let's get right into those talents. So we're going to be talking about the evoker side of the tree first, the left side of the tree, and we're going to be talking about what I actually change in this match to match. I pretty much don't change much. The only thing I really change is inherent resistance and attune to the dream. So the only time you really play attune to the dream is when there isn't magic damage on the field. So if you're playing something like a Beastmaster Feral, then you're going to be taking Attune to the Dream, because there is no magic damage to be taken. So you're going to want to increase your healing received by 6% to help out your healer there and make yourself a little bit more tankier. If there's magic damage on the field, then you're going to be taking inherent resistance, and it's pretty much just that simple. This includes Death Knight and Demon Hunters. So if you're ever running into DHDK, a million people play this, the meta slaves, what you want to do is take this, because their damage is actually magical. So it's an 8% reduction against them, makes you really tanky versus them. It's really nice. Almost every game I find that something in the lobby can be broken with Unravel, so I pretty much always have this locked in, unless there's something that I can't unravel, but there's pretty much always something that I can unravel, so that's really useful. I get a lot of value out of this. I'll give you some examples, some cool things, tips and tricks that you could do with Unravel. So if you're versus a Windwalker monk, you could actually unravel their karma off, so their karma you like offensively. And what I like to do when you're dragon raging, and what I like to do is I'll pop Renewing Blaze, so I could heal back all that 100% of damage that I do, and then I'll unravel into their karma and basically one-shot it off, and then I'll just one-shot them through it. And it's a lot of times I end up one-shotting Windwalkers like this, because they kind of don't expect this to happen to them, unless they react quick and diffuse magic or whatnot. But it's very good. You could just pop a one-shot Windwalkers very easily by using Unravel into their karma. So highly recommend trying that strat. And a lot of times when they're karming me, they're going full Mongo mode, and I'll drag them behind a pillar as well, so that they can't get heals from a healer. It's pretty funny. So yeah, I highly recommend this. It's also really good versus Death Knights with their anti-magic shield, because you can't disintegrate, which is really the only thing you damage with, into the anti-magic shield. So you need to pop it off with Unravel and an Azure Strike. So that's kind of what you use that for, versus any disc priests or priests with their bubbles that they put on, dark pack from a warlock, mage shield, stuff like that. I'm always popping every shield possible off. You could actually one-shot Mistweaver bubbles off, which cocoons, which they never expect as well, if you Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, and Unravel, because you'll get this benefit of Iridescence doing more damage by 20%, plus 20% from the Shattering Star. So I'll make your Unravel do like literally god load of damage and literally one shot off a Mistweaver's cocoon, and they normally don't expect this, so I like going right through them as well. Yeah, so that's really good. Same thing with like if a priest is ultimate penancing, you could do the same thing to them. I actually have a clip on my channel, a YouTube short, of me doing this to Absurge, where he was ultimate penancing and I one shot him through it. So it's really fun to do things like that. People don't really expect it, so really high value in Unravel. Just learn how to play with it. Some people play with Forge of the Mountains instead, but I don't see the 200% roots more damage worth it, because last patch they basically put this by default, where they buffed all the roots and fear durations. So I wouldn't ever recommend really playing this, because I never have a problem ever with my roots breaking. So just don't play it. It's a dead talent now. I wouldn't recommend it. I would find something better. Even if you're not playing that, play. If there's ever no reason to ever play Unravel, I'd probably just go with more healing. In rank 3s, I would probably do something like Source of Magic if I'm playing a dampening comp. I personally don't play Frost Decay Devastation much. I play almost every other random comp possible. So most comps I find that I play go into dampening. So this is probably a good choice as well. And if I need Unravel, I'd probably play something like this if my healer knows that they need more mana. If my healer is complaining about mana in our session, then we'll probably just go with something like that. But if it ends up you're finding yourself needing extra mana with your healer every time you empower your spell, your healer will passively get 0.25% of their mana, and over a long stretch of game, it works out pretty nicely for them. So a lot of evokers also choose from Focus of Life and Fire Within. I find that our cooldown Renewing Blaze, which heals back all the damage you take over, by default, it would be 8 seconds. But I play this shorter heal back, because with Renewing Blaze, I find like our main defensive actually like is horrible. The amount of times that you can die through Renewing Blaze is substantial. You got to press it at 100% or you're pretty much dead. And you probably have to wall with it as well, with Obsidian Scales. So I would definitely recommend that. I've found that I get more value playing this Focus of Life, because it heals you back faster than it would normally. Because if you normally don't play that, then it's going to be healing you back 8 seconds. And the amount of times I've died through this 8-second heal back is ridiculous, because the game's very bursty right now. So I definitely recommend the 4-second heal back, because I find that I die a lot less ever since I did that. So yeah, highly recommend that. Time Spiral, really amazing. When you run out of a hover charge, hover again. It also resets some abilities for your teammates. So for example, if your Warlock's about to die and you could see that they don't have another teleport because 2 melee are training them, then you could give them another teleport or something to that nature. Same thing with the Hunter, you'll give them another disengage. If you see 2 melee are on them, give them another disengage. I'll help them out. Stuff like that. Really good plays that you can make there, and everything else is pretty much a lock-in. But what I'm actually playing and changing every single game I play is probably just Inherent Resistance and Attune to Dream. Everything else pretty much automatic lock-in, just how it is. These are literally the only 2 things I'm probably ever changing. Some people play things like Tailwind. They'll do something like this maybe. I don't like it. Some people do something like this maybe, or like this. I personally don't like doing those things. I keep it simple, this and that. That's all you really need to know. And I never run this. People run that. I think it's an absolute waste of a talent, seeing that all roots were buffed. So that's the left side of the tree. Now to the right side of the tree. I've been having a ton of fun playing mainly two builds, but this is probably the main build I play, and I pretty much don't change much of this build. To kind of explain how this build works, there's a few things that are kind of different from what other evokers like to run, but I like running this Arcane Vigor, which gives Shattering Star grants another essence burst. And I know people are going to probably say in the comments, you could just Azure Strike for an essence burst. Why are you doing that? Now, what I find is I spend like 10 globals after I run out of everything to try to get one essence burst proc. Like, let's see how many. There's 3. That's all dead globals there. Sometimes you'll literally be in an arena like, where's my proc? All right, 3 again. Where's my proc? Let's see. Where is my proc? 4. That's a lot of dead globals sometimes. And sometimes you're trying to kill and you just have nothing. Because Azure Strike does nothing. Look, here we go. Here we go. This is my life in arena before I started playing this talent. Look, there we go. There we go. Finally, proc. All right. Take forever. You run out of essence, you run out of complete damage, and now you're just standing around doing this, trying to fetch for a proc. It's horrible. What I find is I never do that anymore. Ever since I play this, I always have damage. It's made me so much scarier. I really recommend doing this and trying this out. It makes Devastation so much scarier. Your main damage every game, your breakdown is going to be like 40 to 50% disintegrate. Like having an automatic disintegrate that you know it's there, it's so nice, especially when you're playing with iridescence. So basically, kind of what you're doing is Shattering Star, Eternity Search into disintegrate, and you're getting this iridescence blue right out the way. So that's a 20% more extra damage on top of this 20% damage, so it's really way. And then every 20 seconds you pretty much get another one, and I'll just use it on cooldown. So it's like just spamming disintegrates. That's the name of the game here. I find myself playing with a lot of casters versus Frosty K Devastation, because I feel like Frosty K Devastation is like the only comp that Devastation evokers have. But it's a horrible comp. It's so scripted. Everyone knows how to counter it. You can only get so far with it, right? So I play everything else besides that. So this is kind of what I play, because I'm not playing Frosty K Devastation. If I were to be playing Frosty K Devastation, I'd be playing a build probably like this, where I'm doing 1 minute stun and extra damage on my deep breath, because we're setting up those goes. But other than that, I prefer not to even deep breath at all and just see straight damage. We're always having disintegrates up, because that literally does more damage than your deep breath. Your deep breath is pretty useless. What deep breath is really good for, however, is actually I use it mainly as a defensive. Now you're probably like, what? It's like your offensive. No, it's your defensive. So use deep breath to immune things like, a stun's coming from a rogue, or a stun's coming from whatever melee is training you. You could deep breath that stun, like a Windwalker. You could see their leg sweeps coming up. They're gonna leg sweep you. You just deep breath it, and then you're out of it. And what I find before, when I play Devastation Evoker a lot, is I would kill myself going in, going full Mongo, trying to deep breath, and then you end up blinding your healer. You just absolutely just kill yourself most of the time using deep breaths. So start using it strictly as a defensive, and it works so much better to use as a defensive. It's kind of dumb, but that's just kind of how our class works. Use it as a defensive over offensive most of the time. The only time you could really use it safely it's probably like the first time in the game that you use it, where as an offensive, where you could root everything, deep breath, root everything, oppressing roar, then deep breath. So you get that 4-second stun. Normally try to get the stun onto the healer, sleep the healer off, and then start bursting one of the DPS. It's normally kind of what I like to do. But yeah, this is the main build that I like running. Alright, so let's clean everything all up. We have the 20% damage that you get from doing the Shattering Star into the Arcane Vigor, which is going to give you a guaranteed Essence Burst, which is guaranteed extra 15% more damage on that next Disintegrate, which is now 35% extra damage. And then you pair that up with Iridescence, which is now 55% more extra damage. And then you'll just be globaling people when you do a Shattering Star into Eternity Search, into a instant disintegrate right after that. You're going to be doing so much damage. You could even get kills mid-game, which was my problem with Devastation beforehand. It felt like outside of disintegrate, I mean, outside of Dragon Rage, you really couldn't score a kill, but this way you could score a kill even when you're not bursting, so it feels really good. I'm actually going to cue a clip right now of me doing this to a hunter with Party of Awfuls and Celestia. We were playing a game, and this hunter just got absolutely disintegrated. Cue the clip. Let's do it. Okay. I embarks instantly. I'm just gonna save my damn. I'm in it. Kick this clone. I'm gonna fear it. I feared it. Alright, big damn hunter. Dead. Holy shit. I think my disintegrate. All of you. Yo, look at my disintegrate proc. This build does massive damage, boys. I just can't recommend it enough. This is what you need to be running. So yeah, to move on. Some people like playing a build like this when they're versing double melee. I personally have decided that I'm never doing something like this again. I find even versus double melee training me, I don't need the deep ref, because before having the 1 minute used to feel good when you're going against 2 melee training you so you could get away from them more, but I find that I've gotten really good at kiting the more time I've put into Devastation, where I don't need that anymore and I just want to pump. The more I pump, the more the DPS can't even touch me. So that's kind of how I've been playing it. But that's kind of things I used to do as Devastation Evoker. But pretty much I'm always locked in with this build. There's pretty much nothing else I ever really play. And yeah, now to our PvP talents. So we could start off with Unburdened Flight. So Unburdened Flight makes it so you're immune to all speed reduction effects. Really good. Pretty much use this versus any double melee. You know they're going to be slow on you. You know they're going to be training you. You kind of need it for your hovers. That's what keeps you alive. As long as you have hover and Unburdened Flight, you're alive versus double melee. All you got to do is throw in some Verdant Embraces and rescues. You're fine. Scouring Flame, you want to use this versus any Druid, Prez Evoker, Resto Shaman, and Mage. So this is really good because you could pretty much purge off everything. If you tip the scales and Fire Breath, I pretty much will just purge off whatever it is. Versus mages, I love running this because they'll pop alter at 100%. You'll do your go, Shattering Star, Returning Surge, and purge it right off, and they're stuck at 100%. Some mages will realize, oh shit, he purged off my alter time, and instantly block because they'll know they'll just die, or someone will just clear the invis. If they do realize it, most of the time they don't, and now you could just sometimes, a lot of times, just literally global them because they don't realize that they have to block. So that's really good. Same thing versus like Wrestler Druids, you purge off their hots. What you want to be tracking is their life blooms mainly. That's really what's keeping most people alive when it's versus Wrestler Druids. So if you just purge them off, swap on life blooms, that's really good. So purging off all of the Druid hots. Some people sometimes like running something like this for extra purges and extra damage on their Fire Breath. I personally don't think it's worth it anymore. It used to be when I used to do a lot of damage on Fire Breath, but now they nerfed it a lot in PvP, so I wouldn't ever recommend really running this. This kind of literally what I lock in every single game, and I've been doing so much damage with it. So yeah, that's what I definitely recommend playing. Obsidian Metal, you could use it sometimes if you really want. I highly recommend never using this ever. Just learn how to juke, run precog on one of your pieces and learn how to juke, and you'll literally never need this. So I try to do something more beneficial than doing this. Yeah. So if you're newer to the game and you want to like just learning how to do things, Obsidian Metal might benefit you so you can get your damage off uninterrupted. But if you're more seasoned and you want to get up higher, you know, never play this. Chrono Loop, I used to love Chrono Loop until this season. They broke it for some reason. It doesn't work anymore. Like 1 out of 10 every 10 games it'll work. Like you actually will take this and you literally can't press it. Like in the game you can't press it, it's broken. Blizzard, please fix your bug. So don't take this, it's just completely bugged out. But a lot of people used to say it's bad, but if you had a really good timed Chrono Loop, I still always ran it. I loved it. A lot of people didn't run it because they're like, oh, just get dispelled. But if you know you're doing big damn, like you know you're gonna do your one shot, press it right after your one shot, because you know they're gonna be trying to heal that one shot or do something. They're not gonna be going for that dispel, so you're gonna do your one shot, they're gonna NS it, go right back to 100, and then they're not gonna realize, oh shit, that Chrono Loop was there. Like you control when you do damage, so you know when you could press it. Like it's really not that like hard. Like you know you're about to do the Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, Fire Breath, right? You know you're about to do that, so you know their health is about to disappear. Press it right after those globals, and then you'll really catch someone off guard. Just spamming like Disintegrate or like casting Lunar Flame and then pressing it, yeah, you're gonna get no value out of that Chrono Loop. But if you know you're doing like a big one shot, big chunk of health, like press it right after that. It's gonna be really effective. But don't press it right now because it's broken, so don't even play it. Crippling Force, I love running this talent, especially like against a Frost Mage as well. If I'm playing something against a Frost Mage, I'm probably playing something like this because they're just going to purge off your Nullifying Shroud. So if you run 80% chill on a Frost Mage, it kind of counteracts them always slowing, so your partner could always get to them, and then you could just purge off their altar, obliterate mages this way, because they can't get away, because all mages want to do is get away and get that space, so you keep them from getting that space. By running something like this and then purging it off works really well. When you're playing with the mage, you probably want to run something like this where you have spam sleep. Love spam sleep when you're playing with the mage or Ellie Shaman, because then you're just substituting yourself as a warlock, and you're playing something like MLD or LSD, and you substitute yourself as a warlock. You want to act as a warlock because your sleep is on a fear DR, so you kind of spam sleep, spam poly, spam sleep, spam poly, spam sleep, spam hex, whatever you want to do. So it works the same way. Does magic when you run this, which is why I kind of like running caster comms for Devastation Evoker mainly right now. I feel like that's a lot better, so I don't go like a full mastery build. I like putting some haste in there because I do like mastery is more kind of when you're playing like that big one-shot comp, but you do a little, like still a lot of mastery and a little bit of haste when you're playing for the caster version of Devastation. That's kind of what I play. So this is kind of like a caster evoker mainly, because your deep breath is only on 2 minute instead of 1 minute, but you're doing so much more damage. So just keep that all in mind. Next, time stop, really bad or either really good. Like, you know, it is what it is. Like, we have one of the worst abilities ever in all of World of Warcraft history. It's called time stop. Either you get a really good time stop or a really bad one. There's no explanation for this. Like, best time to use it is like higher HP. You don't really ever use it when you're low HP because you're just going to overlap something with your healer and die. So best time to use it is when you're 100%, you see your healer gets CC'd, instantly press it, just cancel everything out. If like Hunter stuns, you know they're gonna trap right after. Either you could rescue that stun so you could get them out the trap, or you just insta time stop and hope for the best. So yeah, that's kind of what I use time stop for. If you're going against another evoker using time stop when you know they're gonna do Eternity Search or do their big go, you just counter them. Just time stop their own damage. You know exactly how Devastation does damage. Eternity Search, right, press time stop on whoever they're doing that on. Same thing with Chaos Bolt. Take a time stop. Chaos Bolt coming at you, Demon Hunter with the Essence Breaks or the Hunts, you could time stop those. You know, you want to get some big value plays out of time stop. If you see a pally coming in for your Hodge on your healer, time stop your healer for like a quick second. You see them use the ability, take them out. Stuff like that is really good for. But other than that, you know, it's either really good or really bad. All right, you either kill yourself because you use it, or you'll save the game. One thing really nice about time stop is if you're playing with the Wrestle Shaman and you do time stop yourself at like 10% HP, they can spirit link your time stop and you will gain health in time stop. That is the only thing that works to get health in time stop. Other than that, you have completely trolled yourself if you time stop yourself at 10%. I just want to let you know that. Yeah, soup up. I actually like trolling with soup up sometimes. A lot of people don't expect it. But say you're playing like versus like a double caster, sometimes I'll like running swoop up because they won't expect it, and you could actually swoop up and press deep breath at the same time. So like you'll swoop up, and while you're in that animation, if you do like a long swoop up, while you're in that animation of swooping them up, you could actually cast a deep breath in the air and stun them as they're landing from the swoop up. It kind of catches people off guard. It's something that people don't really know or do. I think I'm the only evoker I've ever seen do this because I kind of just figured it out. But it's kind of really funny to do it when you do it. Crippling Force is really good versus double melee. Or you could play Dreamwalker's Embrace. The problem with Dreamwalker Embrace is getting your teammates to understand what it does and to just keep the DPS in that tether that it creates. It's really hard a lot of the times. Especially without communication. So if you find yourself needing to peel for your teammates, sometimes just running Crippling Force might be good. But yeah, Nullifying Shroud, never play it if you know it could get purged off, because it prevents crowd control, but it could easily be purged off. So if you know like a mage is gonna spam spells to you, don't run it because you're only helping them. So yeah. Hey, when I was editing this video, I realized that I kind of forgot to mention how to use Nullifying Shroud. So I just wanted to come back here and throw it in. So when you're using Nullifying Shroud, you really want to use this in strategic ways. A lot of times I don't just run into arena and throw it on. I normally do it when I know I'm about to burst. It's also really good because it actually ends up being one when your defenses, especially when you're getting trained by like a double melee, when you know if you get stunned one more time, you're just absolutely dead. You need to use it before that happens so you don't get stunned and you could keep kiting them around. So that's really important. Also, I like to use it right before I'm bursting, so because I know they're just going to spam CC me while I'm bursting, I like to use it right before then. Also, if I know, like for example, if I'm versus a rogue and I know that they can sap it off, right, I'm not going to use it right in the opener, right? So what I'm going to do instead is try to get combat first, and then if I get combat before the rogue comes out, then I'll put it up so that doesn't happen. So just some little tips on how to use Nullifying Shroud. And yeah, if you're Divide and Conquer, you'll be playing when you're playing with the Death Knight because you want to set up your ghost. But yeah, pretty much if you're playing, this is a really good save option as well. As a lock-in when you're first learning Devastation, but as you start learning on when to use every talent and when to do what, you'll get a lot of value. Like, you play every single talent here, it just depends on the round in the game. There isn't a single talent that isn't bad, I guess. You just gotta know when to use it. Like Chrono Loop, if it worked, was really good against like Holy Priest, because they could Redeemer or whatever the hell, or Angel. You know they're gonna go up in HP after they go all the way down, and then they'll go up and then go right back down. So stuff like that used to be really good for them, but right now it's just a broken spell, so don't use it. And that's pretty much the PvP talents for Devastation. Yeah, that's how I've been doing the most damage, and I've been just having fun with this build. So hope you guys enjoy these talents. To the next topic. Next is gear. So for gearing, it's only week 3 going to week 4 of the season, so this is kind of how I've been gearing. Keep in mind my build may be a little bit different than yours because I'm playing a more caster build, but I went with the 4-piece, and with the 4-piece I excluded the leggings. Why I did that was because if we look at the leggings, it gives crit mastery. I don't want crit, and mastery is nice and all, but I want a little bit more haste because I'm playing mainly with casters. So I'm going with the haste verse instead. So that's why we didn't do that. And then we went with haste mastery on our leggings instead. So you get more mastery than the legs would, and then you get haste instead of crit, which are just better stats overall. And then haste is not a bad stat, and verse is not a bad stat either. So yeah, that's kind of how I did that. Next, to talk about the famous PvE rings that everyone is talking about this season and craving about. This is kind of my understanding of these rings so far, or not, as how as it applies to Devastation Evoker. So far, the Darkness Chosen does not seem very valuable for us. I know it says dealing fire damage has a chance to do more damage there, but over a span of like a 10-minute arena game, it's doing like 2% of your damage, and sometimes it could do like 0.8% of your damage in like a quick game. It's just not worth it. So when you factor those in mind, I would highly, I don't know, I'm trying to upgrade it more and see how I like it more maxed out, but it hasn't been very good for me. So I've been choosing just to play with the mastery ring until I could recraft this ring probably to something like this for next season, like I did last season, because I played double haste mastery rings, and that's kind of what's going on with the Seal of Field duty. So on the map, if you guys haven't been, you go to this bronze enclave, go to this building here and talk to this dragon. This dragon will have the field duty and the Durnas. I'm still going to monitor this throughout the season, see how it ends up playing out, but so far I like only this one. It gives you haste mastery, some of your best stats there, so I've been liking to play that. So I've already fully maxed it out because I've done a ton of amount of games of solo shuffle just to max it out, because I'm a lazy PvPer. I want to min max, but I don't want to do any PvE. So if you do enough arena games, you get these crests for being an elite. So I've got 274. You could get this done way faster if you just run mythics. Me, I refuse. So you could actually, this is what I did, you could actually go to this vendor over here by the auction house, and where is he? There it is. Took a while to spawn. You could go to this vendor and you could transfer your crest. Now, don't make the mistake I did and transfer too many of them because I was being lazy, but you could transfer these crests and then you transfer it one more time to these, I believe, and then you could finally get these. So just play the transfer game. So you basically transfer these to these and then transfer these to these. That's kind of what happens. So then you can upgrade them. When you go talk to this person, you just throw it in there, and there you go. You need those, and then eventually you need the blues, and then you need the reds. So you need to be elite for reds, and I don't really know what you need for the other two, but I've gotten like none of them naturally. I've only got them through doing the elite ones, because I've been elite since like day 2 of the season, so I've had no other choice but to get elite ones. So maybe you guys have other crests that are easier to upgrade, but that's kind of how my season has went. But yeah, so that was the ring discussion. So I haven't been finding much value out of that one. So I think when you equipped it, you lose 5% mastery, which is 5% basically damage. So I would just, over like the 1% that this is giving you, it doesn't seem worth it so far. So I would definitely don't recommend playing this so far, but we'll see how the season goes, and then maybe we'll update the guide for that. Next we're gonna pull up Mr. Cum Dragon here. What we're basically going to be seeing is that my boy is just fully bis. I don't actually know who he is, but I unfortunately did not play Dragonflight Season 2, so when everyone was playing Augmentation, I was not able to go snag up the Nazaro, the Unbound Legacy, but this will be your bis weapon this season. If you could get your hands on it, get it upgraded, it's going to be the best. It goes up higher than your PvP staff, so it's going to be nicer to have and overall. So if you could get this legendary, definitely get it. It's your best weapon. It gives haste to your teammate, and it's going to give them speed. So if you're playing with a caster, giving them haste like a mage, lock, they're just going to love you. So because again, I've only really played with casters, so I really want this legendary. So I've been farming it every week. You could do Aberrus for it. The problem is you could really only do Aberrus on Awaken weeks, because it's really the only time people really do it. It's really hard to get in a group other than that, unless you get lucky in LFG or LFR. Make the group yourself or something, I don't know, but it has a lower chance to drop in LFG, normal, heroic mythic, better chance rates to drop. I've been trying to do it every single week on all of my dragons, so I really want this. I really hope Blizzard does something to make this more accessible by the end of the season, because I really feel like they should, because Dragonflight's ending anyway. Like, just let us get what we want, please. Blizzard, if you're listening to this, please just make it more accessible by the end of the season, because it's really hard to get, especially if you didn't play season 2. Thank you. So yeah. But if you do not have that staff, or do not feel like doing any PvE at all to farm it, you could always get the staff, which I actually got out of the Great Vault, because you burst mastery when your best stats. So that's kind of what I'm playing with. Back in that room where you get the ring at, you actually get the upgrade for that legendary, if you didn't know, with 2 bronze bullions. So that's kind of where you do that at. So also, before we move on to talk about bronze billions, if you talk to this guy this week, there's a mythic quest where you do 4 dungeons. So you go join some PvEers for 4 mythic dungeons. You'll get 2 bronze billions. So that's actually how I got the Derna's Chosen and the Fill Duty all in 1 week. So you could go do that if you want to min-max like I did. But that's the only PvE I've done. Everything else has been strictly through solo shuffles getting my crest. So yeah, worth mentioning there. Then we can move on to our bracers. So did the not sparks, bloody token quests, whatever, for 2 weeks, and you get burst mastery, cloak, and wrist. We'll change that later on in the season when we get more conquests. We got our necklace. We're probably gonna want to recraft this to the torque for burst mastery, like we did last season. It's probably what we want to do later on in the season, but for now, because we don't have enough sparks to do so, we do that. Then this week, because once you win 1 arena game, you get the 2 upgrade, whatever they're called. I'll put them on the screen here. You get 2 of those for winning 1 arena. So I personally crafted the haste mastery on my belt, and I crafted with the magical conduit on it. So I think it's called Verdant Conduit. I'll put that on the screen as well, to give this effect. So what this effect does is gives you random secondary stats. It's going to give you mastery. I forgot what the actual proc rate is, but it gives you more and more mastery throughout the game randomly. Again, I play with more minion casters, so I'm okay with having something like this randomly proc with this, and then just randomly start doing big damage. And then we got precog on our legs, so that's what we opted with. We got plain run breeze on our boots, burst mastery boots. Again, speed on the wrist and cape. There you go. I'm going with all mastery versed on the gem slots this season. Last season I did like straight haste. Later on, when I get better gear, depending on what my mastery ends up being at, I might end up going a little bit more haste on those as well, so that might change. But we'll play around with the stats and see what feels good, what doesn't. We play a lot, so we'll figure out what's the best gear. Maybe update the guides later on end of season to help get people get there, and the season rewards. So that is that. That's going to be the gearing section for this video. Alrighty, now we're going to talk through macros. So as a Devastation Evoker, use a ton of macros. If you want to be somewhat efficient at this class and play at a high level, you need to have macros. It's just what the class is. If you don't have macros, you're doing yourself an extreme disservice, and you need a macro. So that's just what it is. Doing damage is really easy as a Devastation Evoker. You press a few buttons and you're doing max damage. Living and doing all the other support things that you need to do for your teammates in a high rated arena is where it gets harder for Evoker. So first off, you got your stop cast macro that I use here. So I personally use it on Azure Strike. The reason why you need this macro is because when you're hovering, you can't cast and stop it, right? Because it'll just keep going. So what I personally do is I stop it with Azure Strike. If you want to bait out a cooldown like Fade or Deafening from a Priest or Tremor Totem or Grounding Totem from a Shaman, if you want to get that fear off, you're going to need to stop the cast of it, probably get it and whatnot. Also, if melee are training you and you want to stop your cast to proc your precog, you know, just hit your as you're striking, you're all good. That's normally what I do. Talking about Tremor Totem, so it's actually really nice. Well, a lot of people may not know this, but I normally bait out the Shaman's grounding because they'll see me casting Sleepwalk, and after that they'll for sure press a Tremor. So they don't know, okay, I do so a whole bunch of Shamans and they probably get confused, is when the totem comes and it spawns at their feet, if you kill it in that split second, it won't take them out of Sleepwalk. There's a little tiny grace period of like 1 global. So what I normally do is I sleep and then I'm spamming to kill that Tremor Totem that pops, and if you kill it, like 80% of the time I could kill it before Sleepwalk gets dispelled by the Tremor Totem. So really important to do that in case that you're ever in a situation like that. And it happens to me all the time, and I always do it to Shamans and they probably get so confused. They're like, I pre-tremored that, what? And yeah, I just killed it. I did want to make a macro to kill that faster with Azure Strike, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. If anyone in the comments knows how to macro to kill a tremor or grounding, please let me know. From my research, it's not possible, so yeah, please someone fact check me on that. Thank you. All right, next is stop casting for Wing Buffet and Tail Swipe. So it's really important to be doing this because you could be like mid disintegrate and you need to kick a clone, boom. Because what I like to do versus boomies and other casters is, because we are short range like this, like you only get like a 25-yard range, we got to be able to stop cast or you're just gonna die, right? So for boomies, what I like to do is I like to like run literally right on top of them and literally pound them like this. And then I'll like running Scouring Flame versus them, because you can actually purge off whatever that ability that just got nerfed, that gives them their stacks of crit, spell damage or whatever it is, like Moonkin Aura. You could purge off their 3 stacks, so they could do this 3 Star Surges, and you could purge that off, right? So then boom, they're doing less damage to you because you just take 1,000,000 damage. So you could just purge that off, and then they can't get any new cast off, get clones off and stuff like that, because you're only going to be kicking clones. And then you got Tail Swipe and Wing Buffet to help you do that as well, and Quells. And eventually they're going to be taking so much damage because they're just trying to spam clone, but you can't because you're trolling them and microing them in any way possible. That eventually they're just going to have to sit bear form all game because they're so behind and they can't get any clones off and stuff like that. So it's really good to be doing that. I highly recommend putting a stop cast on your racials and learn how to use them better. You want to, stay on top of, like stopping feral clones, stopping feral, stuff like that. It's a stop and cast. Like, you have other tools. I know you have 1 kick, and 1 CC, but you have other tools that once you learn how to use, they could be extremely powerful. All right, next. Macros. All right, so we got to stop cast on our Quell as well. We got a Arena 1, 2, 3 for our Quells, and Sleepwalks. Stop cast is on the Quells. If you're wondering why my macro looks like this, is because I don't have to type in the person's name every time, because my arena and party stays the exact same, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, no matter what. The healer is always on top, and I'm using an add-on called Frame Sort. So if you want to get that add-on, it's really good. You never have to type in someone's add-on again. You just configure it, someone's name again, you just configure it, write your macros as such, and then you're fine. That's really good. So especially because I do so many shuffles, that's kind of just what you do. Then you never have to worry about it. Then we got party 1, 2, 3 for Colorizing Flame. Colorizing Flame is really good for dispelling like a Ferocious Frenzy or a Death Mark from Assassination Rogue. I dispel a lot of things with it. Amp Curses, whenever Warlock amp curses. When you need to heal, it's really good to build up your Scarlet Adaptation, which is here. So Scarlet Adaptation, when you basically store healing done, and then you could do juicy Living Flames. So like even like if you're versus like just a DK, they get their diseases and plagues up or whatever, you could actually dispel them And then that helps you out a lot there. They do less damage to you, plus you get the healing, and then you can do big damage with their Rune Flame. So really good. So that's what that macros were. Those macros. Same thing with Expunge. So I got 1, 2, 3 macros for Expunge. So really good against Assassination Rogues, and that's pretty much it. You could dispel their stuff because they are poisons. So yeah, you dispel their poisons because they normally have wound up on you. Then there goes their Mortar Strike, right? So really good to like just spam press it when you're versus them. I don't really normally have problems versus Assassination Rogues. I know their damage was nutty, which is why they just nerfed them, but I never had a problem in the first place because of that. So really good. And then I could just purge off their Death Mark too. So boom, Assassination Rogue, I'm anti. They probably hate me. So next, macros. Then we have, what else is important? We got our rescue macros. So rescue party 1 and 2. I personally don't do at cursor. I know at cursor could be faster, but the reason why I don't do it, for example, if your teammate's there, you could actually rescue them over here probably. And then you could get this really big rescue. And I personally, whoa, what was that? Why is this guy so big? Didn't even know it was possible. Yeah, I normally get this at cursor essentially. What if I did an at cursor? I won't be able to see like the nice little tricky places I get to put people in my rescues. I normally do really big rescues, so I don't know. Me personally, I don't like doing it, but that's why. Same thing people like doing, like roots and deep ref with the at cursor. Me personally, I don't do it because I don't like doing it. Yeah, that's just that. It could be faster if you get used to it and whatnot, but me personally, I like seeing where things are going. Next we have, let's go to Evoker 1 specific. So we have this Obsidian Skills macro, really useful. Essentially what this does is when you're like spam your buttons because you're in high pressure and whatnot, you're pressing your wall, and just makes it so you can't press it again, right? Like it has to wait like 5 seconds, I believe, and then you could press it again. So it's just good so you don't spam it again, and you could keep your uptime of your buff up longer. That's why I use that. I actually do the same thing with my hovers. So yeah, I do the same thing with my hovers because hovers are super important. Hovers are like really the only way you live, right? So especially versus double melee, once the people touch you, you're instantly dead. So you want to make sure you're not wasting your hovers, right? So as soon as so I press that, and it prevents me from using it again, right? So that's why I do that. Next we have a macro for when we're using chrono loop, because in case you want a chrono loop but you're mid cast because someone's at 20%, boom, you put it there and it stops the cast for it. Deep breath, you put your badge trinket on your deep breath macro in case you're ever playing with the Frost F Knight. There it is, boom. So you put that there, so when you deep breath, it'll go over with it. Works really nice, workflows really nicely. Verdant Embrace macros, actually do the party 1, 2, 3 for that as well. Verdant Embrace is a lifesaver. If you learn how to kite really well between your hovers and your Verdant Embraces, like, you will be untouchable, a slithery snake. That's what I preach. If they're in an arena map that has X axis or whatever, Y axis, I don't know what the hell it's called. I have my master's, but not in mathematics, so I have no clue. Yeah, so say you're playing your arena with the axis on, you could, if your healer sits up there or your DPS or whatever, you could just drag DPS away, fly up top there, be slithery snake. You could do something like you're up there, you bait the melee off and then fly back up. Like, then that a lot. Really good once you learn how to play and really use your Verdant Embraces. One thing I like to do with them as well is, as soon as I rescue, I'll normally Verdant Embrace that person as well, just because I'm normally rescuing them when they're dead. So yeah, because you could do it while you're in the air, so really important. You don't have to wait to land to press something again and rescue. You can actually do stuff in the air. So really good to know. I have this nice little macro here for Shattering Star because of solo shuffles, and just reading regular arenas is really nice. It tells the person, hey, I'm doing damage to that person, because whoever I Shattering Star, I'm going to be doing damage to. So and then like mid game, let's say I'm casting Deep Breath, I'll just like spam it maybe too, just to let people know like who I'm attacking, right? If I'm channeling a Deep Breath, I might just be spamming. I'm channeling Disintegrate, I might just be spamming this too, just tell my teammate like, hey, attack it with me, please. We'll kill something. Because Devastation's all about choosing the right target. Whoever doesn't have any defenses up, whoever doesn't have any sort of damage mitigation, that's who you should be attacking. Like, and whoever's at 100%, because of our mastery. Our mastery is so good. Basically, if someone's at 100%, you could take them right back down to like 40% by literally just doing a Shattering Star and Disintegrate. It's all it takes to take someone to like literally 30-40%. So you know what I actually like to do before I start arena? I'm not a type of person that like runs in there and just like Mongos, Deep Breath. No. That's not what we do. What we do is we Shattering Star, Disintegrate, probably spam another Disintegrate after. You're going to bait a defensive like this because just does way too much damage, right? You're going to bait defensive. You might get, I don't know, like a Paladin's magic wall. As soon as that's up, then I'm sending the big damage on the magic wall after the magic wall, because they can't stop it. And then boom, there's a bubble. Or maybe they think they're good and they didn't, because they think that they already got your damage because they already had to press something. They don't expect to bubble. Because I've killed many rets that way. What is next here? We got, yeah, that looks like all the macros. Let me just double check. Oh, I got a macro to heal myself. So where is it? Boom. So Living Flame on myself, because your Living Flame attacks but also heals you. So if I'm ever spamming myself for heals, it's a different button. It just makes my life easier, because you do need to spam yourself for heals. And it's also important to note that this right here makes your next one for Living Flame cast faster. So if you ever need to heal yourself, you know, for the Embrace Living Flame, your next one will cast faster. Really good to know. And yeah, I think that was it for all my macros. If something comes up, I'll let you guys know, but that's kind of what I'm using. Oh, last macro. I'm just going to lead into the clipping and no clipping discussion. So for the sake of making this video faster, because it's a pretty long video, basically, there is a term in the Devastation Evoker community called clipping, where you can essentially like get more damage by spam clicking Disintegrate, especially when you're bursting, because the second you cast Disintegrate is when it does damage. So what some people think is the proper thing to do is by spam clicking Disintegrate. Now the problem is this may be good in PvE if you're trying to do more damage or something. I really have tried. Before making this video, I sat on this dummy for an hour doing my perfect rotation, trying to see what does more damage, and literally clipping and letting your channel cast out fully out does the same exact damage. I swear to God, does the same damage. I actually do more damage on some goes with just my regular macro that I use here. So what this macro does is make it so I can't channel another one until it's over. Like I can spam and it won't go till it's over. Why I think clipping is bad. This is why I think clipping is bad. So I'm just going to wait for my there you go. I could do it with this. That's fine. So when I go in for my burst, right? My burst is going to look something like this. Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, boom, boom, right? When I go in for this, there, I'm out of Disintegrates now, right? I'm about to be, right? Then I have to do this to get more, and then I could cast more Disintegrates. So you do more Azure Strikes to get more Disintegrates, right? The problem is, if you're clipping, you're going to run out of them so much faster, and then you're going to be doing less damage because you're over here trying to click Azure Strike to get more procs back. It's not good. Let it channel out, and first off, when you're bursting, you don't want to be there just like spamming and open, right? When you're casting and bursting Disintegrate, you want to be avoiding CC, because you're going to be pressing Dragon Rage and people are going to be microing the hell out of you because they know you could just one-shot them with Dragon Rage. Our cooldown's OP. Like, that's the only thing we have going for us. So you want to be like lining and just like disintegrate and line, disintegrate and line. Let it fully channel out. I can't click it again. I can't stop my damage. And that's what you really want to be doing, disintegrating and lining, disintegrating and lining. I highly do not recommend clipping, because all you're going to do is get micro CC'd. Your damage is gonna really suck because you spent all your time getting micro CC'd and having to spam Azure Strikes because your disintegrates got stopped. So in the long run, I don't think it's worth clipping in PvP, because, you know, if you have to sit there spamming for more Azure Strikes because you lost your disintegrate already, I don't think it's worth. Again, I'm like pretty much top damage every single lobby I am, even versus other Devastation Evokers, and I don't clip. So I do strongly not agree with clipping as a Devastation Evoker. Yeah, never once have I done it. So I just use this macro that lets me not cast it again. And that's just what I do. Brainless, I don't have to think too much about it. And I do the same amount of damage. I've tried the clipping, and I did the same damage, so I'm not going to do it. And that's just that. And now to our DPS rotation. So it's pretty simple. Devastation Evoker. I probably do with my eyes closed. This is exactly what you have to do. So you're going to start off with a Dragon Rage into the Shattering Star, into Eternity Surge, Tip to Scales, Fire Breath. Now, actually, that's another macro. So, I macro Tip to Scales and Fire Breath. The reason why you want to do this is so it's one less global that you're clicking, because in your head you kind of think of it that way, because it's Tip to Scales is actually off the GCD. And the second reason why you want to do this is some really high skill level players will be spamming like Purge or Spell Steal, because they know that Tip to Scales is purgeable. So if you do like this, less chance it gets purged off. So you basically want to Dragon Rage, Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, Tip to Scales, Fire Breath, and then spam Disintegrate. If you get a Living Flame proc, you'll press it, but you just spam and then Living Flame and then spam. There you go. Spam. Boom. Extend. Spam. Extend again. Spam. Shattering Star. Spam. And that's kind of just like what you're doing for damage. 50% of my damage is literally Disintegrate. And that's with me talking through it. I actually do it way cleaner when I'm not talking it through, but it's kind of what you want to do. So, Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, Disintegrate. I really highly recommend tracking your time on Dragon Rage left, because when you cast your Empower spells, Eternity Surge and Fire Breath, it extends it. And before Dragon Rage ends, I highly recommend you build up 2 more Essence Burst spells. So if you do your Essence Burst, that blue spell now is going to be 50% more damage. So when you're doing your burst rotation, you want to make sure you're always doing it with the Disintegrate Essence Burst preferably. That's kind of like what I try to do. So if I have to stop spamming Disintegrate because I ran out of Essence, I'll make sure I get my 2 stacks of Essence Burst before I keep going again. So I'll try it one more time. This is actually my first time recording this ever, so trying to record and talk it through is a little brain lag, so bear with me here. So we're going to do Dragon Rage, Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, Tip to Scales, Fire Breath, Disintegrate, Spam, Disintegrate, Spam, Disintegrate. I'm watching this Fire Breath timer, Disintegrate, Spam, Fire Breath again, Spam, Shattering Star, just Eternity Surge, Extended, Spam, Fire Breath, Extend again, Spam. All right, last 2 globals, boom, spam. That's pretty much my damage, right? That's kind of what you're going to try to do. I didn't reset my damage from last time, that's why this is a lot lower, but it would have been like, I normally do like upwards like 225, 240k while I'm bursting. It's actually kind of wild. If on a target dummy, I might be doing like upwards of 300k. So yeah. All right, so that's essentially my rotation. The only thing you would need to throw in there during arena is before you do your go, you probably want to do it with the deep breath, right? So you want to root them so they don't move, pressing into the deep breath. And then me personally, I try to deep breath on top of the healer so that happens, and then I'll fear the healer off. That's what I normally try to do. Then you get a really big fear, right? And then you just, then you send it. So that's just how you would do it in arena. So yeah. And with that, we're going to move on to just some arena gameplay of me playing around in the stream. But with that, we're also going to be ending the video here. Just the last time I'm going to be actually talking. Next is going to be a VOD replay. So I just want to thank everyone for joining and watching me explain Devastation Evoker to you all. I hope you guys learned something new with this guide. You guys all go out there and be the best dragons ever. Just don't get us nerfed, because our damage is insane, but that's all we have. So please, Blizzard, please buff us. Do something. Make time slot better. Do something for us. But yeah, again, last time, guys, thank you for watching. Also, my first ever video did so well. Did 500 views. I couldn't ask for more for my first ever YouTube video. I honestly thought I was going to get like 20. So the fact that I even got 500, I really appreciate everyone here. Thank you for everything. Please follow, like, and subscribe, and go follow me live on Twitch. Link in bio below. And with that, I'll see you guys till next time. Peace. Got Perch. It's Jessica June. Check this. Yeah, tell Ralph, if you could play the top, that'd be so nice. Heinous, right? Heinous right now. Yep. Okay, healer, hit healer. Okay. Play the top, yep. Oh, I just fucked up. Oh, got you. Kick the healer. I got nothing. I will. Full perch. Yep, hand healer, not. Send me. Fearing healer. That's okay. Hitting him hard. Kicked him. Lay. Full purging. I'm hitting a rat here a little bit. Fearing healer. Killing healer again. Kick healer. I got feared from Africa. Holy shit! Look how far that was. Sorry. Yep. He's by himself. Big him. That was so funny. Yeah, I'll kill his pet. Disintegrate. Oh, it's Tokyo. Go. Okay, let's go. Big game. Hitting this healer. Kicks me. I'm fearing this healer right now. Big damn both these guys. I pre-wall all this on top of your wall. I'm a fear healer. Big damage hunter. Okay. Alright, sure. Yeah. I got blinded. gonna free healer. Got kick healer though. Fearing healer now. He lines me. This guy has a turtle, right? No, fuck. Free healer. Free healer. Full purging this guy. He has nothing. Oh my god. He turtles. Keep hitting healer. I'm gonna fear healer, okay? Free healer. Sorry. Full purging. Kick healer. Big damage. Full purge. No. I got gripped on that full purge. Yep, I need DK with you. I juked the kick. Fearing healer again. I got it. I pre-walled this. He's putting his damage on me. I pre-wall it. Don't worry about me. Yeah. Sure. Yep. It's at the healer. Yep. Kick healer. Going back to under here. I wall again. I should be fine. Big damage hunter. Fearing healer. Fake fear. Okay, healer hard. No, I'm fucked. Okay. Alright, hitting hunter. I'm gonna kill this pet. Got the pet. Yep. Fearing healer. Kick this one. Full purging. Melts. Sure. Sorry, I'm coming back to you. I can't stop that one. Fuck. Okay, cool. I'll stop the next one. I pre-walled. Kick healer. Full purging this guy. Kick this cat. Yep. Big damn. He's dead. Oh my god. No way. Fearing healer. Okay. Tokyo goes down, boys. That was disgusting. Yeah. Bronzer has 2 of his under mine. Yeah. I'm like, yo, Bronzer, leave me alone, bro. Oh shit, I got the wrong talent on. But I'm gonna make him spam purge on me.
Get him. Yeah, we love that. Get him. Nice. Stun in the rogue. Do a cyclone that he trinkets.
Yeah, this mage is actually scared of me already.
Yeah. Not gonna skin him.
I'm literally gonna pull you to him. Fuck this.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nearly blind, by the way.
I'm gonna fear this healer.
High quality gameplay. Stunning rogue for a second.
Just staying on this mage. Fuck this mage. Standing on this mage all game. Full purge both these idiots.
Crouching mage again now with you. The biggest damn.
That's Calderas. He's got a block. Alright, cool. It's a really big pressure. I'm tricking this just for more pressure. I kick the poly. I fear this guy. Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice trinket. Doing good.
Yep. Big damn.
Mage.
Yep. Big damage.
Get that tier, I guess, or not. Okay.
I'm gonna full purchase.
Yeah, I regen.
No, I get blinded 1 second just to stop the purge. I'm gonna purge the altar time.
Rogue maybe.
Got it. Big fear, good fear.
Yeah. I stun
Big damn, big damn, big damn, big damn, big damn. Fuck you, mage. Get my points back.